Hello everyone. Last time we discussed about the specific energy concept and variation of specific energy with respect to depth. But we saw that for a fixed discharge, for a constant discharge. Okay, so I will quickly draw that specific energy curve again. Okay. So for a particular discharge, the specific energy curve was something like this. Okay. The specific energy will decrease with respect to depth. If you start from a higher depth, it will decrease. It will reach at a minimum value at some depth, okay, and then it will go on increasing again, okay. And on both the limbs, both limbs of this specific energy curve are asymptotic to these two lines, okay. The bottom limb is asymptotic to E equal to 0 line, and the top limb is asymptotic to E equal to Y limb, okay. But it will never touch E equal to Y curve, because if E equal to Y, then the flow velocity will be 0, okay. So it will never touch, it will be just touching, okay, as we go above. So this is how the variation of specific energy takes place. We also saw the condition for critical depth, isn't it? So we saw that the minimum for a particular given discharge, the specific energy is minimum for some depth. That depth is called as the critical depth, okay. So this is your YC and this is your E minimum for this particular discharge, okay. For this particular Q, it is the E minimum. But now what if we go on increasing the discharges, okay. This was for a fixed discharge, the curve is for a fixed Q. What if we go on changing the discharge and see the variation of specific energy with varying discharges, okay. So if you do that, let's say this is your Q1, okay. You do that, suppose you increase the discharge, make it to Q2, okay. Q2 should be greater than Q1, and you draw the specific energy curve again for that discharge Q2. You will see that the curve is something like this, okay. So it will shift on the right side and a little above, okay. So this will be Q2, this was Q1, this is Q2 greater than Q1, okay. Again if you do, you will again get some third curve, and again you will get some fourth curve, something like this, okay. So this is for Q3, which is greater than Q2, and Q4 greater than Q3, like this, okay. So as you go on increasing the discharge, your curves will be shifting to the right side and a little above, okay, such that your critical depth will go on increasing. For all these discharges, the individual critical depths will be higher, slowly they will go on increasing, okay. Now see, if you consider some particular value of specific energy, suppose now I draw a curve or I draw a line, suppose. Okay, so now this is a particular line for a particular E or value of specific energy. So for this value of specific energy, what I want to say is, now if you have this much energy available, this much specific energy is available to you, so can you pass Q1 discharge with that energy? Is it possible? Let's say there is a channel, isn't it? This is a channel, suppose you have some bed slope, whatever, okay, and now suppose you know the specific energy, okay, it is this value, and if you ask yourself, can I pass this discharge Q1 in this channel with this amount of specific energy, okay, the answer is yes. Why? If you plot the E on the Q1 curve, you will get two ordinates, this and this, isn't it? So at both, you can pass this discharge Q1 at two depths, y1 and y2. These are the alternatives. We saw that earlier. So keeping one particular value of specific energy, if you have, you can anyways pass this discharge Q1. Okay. But can you pass the discharge Q2? Yes, you can, because again we are getting the ordinates. This Y1 and Y2. But now the question is, can you pass Q3? For that purpose, what you have to do? See if this line is intersecting Q3 curve. So no, it is not intersecting. So this discharge Q3 cannot be passed with this specific energy. Q1 is possible, Q2 is possible, but Q2, but Q3 is not possible. Q3, Q4 cannot be passed within this specific energy. Why? Because now why is it so? You see, for passing Q3 you need some minimum amount of specific energy, isn't it? Minimum energy is required for this particular Q3, and this value of available specific energy is less than this E minimum, isn't it? Then you can anyways now understand what is the maximum discharge that you can pass with this specific energy. Okay, if you go on increasing Q2 slowly you will get some curve, okay, and you will reach this point. Okay, you will reach this point. Okay, so this is your QM. This curve is your QM. What does this curve represent? It is just in the curve is such that this ordinate, if this ordinate is P dash, suppose this ordinate is tangent to this curve, isn't it? That means, what is this exactly? It is the minimum specific energy required to pass this discharge. So if you have a specific energy, particular specific energy, what is the maximum discharge that can be passed using that specific energy? Then we have to understand that that energy should be the minimum specific energy for that particular discharge. So it should be E minimum. That means the condition should be critical condition, isn't it? So this is the basically the Y minimum or Y critical for E critical. Okay. So that energy becomes the minimum specific energy, and accordingly you will get a critical depth, and at that condition maximum discharge can be passed. Okay. So when we go on varying the discharges, then we understand that maximum discharge passing for a particular specific energy, then that discharge has to be passed at the critical condition. Okay, that E should be E minimum, isn't it, for that particular discharge, then it will be maximum. Okay, now this understanding you can also derive analytically, that we will try now. What we want is the maximum discharge. So now we have specific energy, what we have, E is equal to Y plus V square by 2G. So we can write E is equal to Y plus Q square by 2G A square. Okay, like this we can write. So let's bring Q on one side. So E minus Y into 2G A square will be Q square. So Q will be what? Q will be under root 2G E minus Y into A. Okay, this will be the value of Q. Now see, for maximum discharge your depths are varying, so maximum discharge condition can be, for maximum discharge we will get dq by dy equal to 0. For maxima or minima we have to differentiate and equate the differential with equate it to 0. Okay, for that condition your Q will be maximum or minimum. Okay, here we are finding the maximum, so let's do dq by dy. Okay, now see, Q is a function of what? Q is a function of Y, isn't it? So in area also there is Y, and in this term there is also Y. So it is actually product of two terms. So we have to treat it in that way. Therefore treat it like this. This is suppose u and this term is suppose v. So u ddx of dy of v plus v dy of u, like that. So therefore I will do that. Left hand side dq by dy is 0 equal to, this is for maximum q, I will write it here, for maximum, okay, for qm, for maximum discharge we have dq by dy equal to 0. Let's do that. Now let's keep this term as it is, 2g e minus y into, differentiate this, so dA by dy plus what, keep a like this and differentiate this term, so it will be d dy of under root 2g e minus y. Okay, so let's go ahead, keep solving it. Now dA by dy is what? Capital T, that is the top width. Simply, we have seen this time and again that if you have this cross section, A is the flow area suppose and Y is the depth of flow. So when you change the flow depth slightly, okay, when you change the flow depth suppose dy, slightly dy. So what is the change in area? This is the change in area, dA. Okay, this dA automatically becomes T into dy, isn't it? Because this is top width. Okay, top width. So dA by dy becomes the top width. So replace that here. We have T under root 2g e minus y plus, now A is as it is. Okay, now when we want to differentiate this, treat it like y, so root of y, so that will be 1 by 2, then 2g e minus y raised to minus 1 by 2, isn't it? Because it will be 1 by 2 minus 1, so minus 1 by 2. Then again differentiate this term inside the square root. Okay, now 2g is constant, so it will be outside. E is a constant, since we are trying to find out maximum discharge for a fixed specific energy, so E will be constant. So ddy of minus y is minus 1, okay, because ddy of E will be 0 and 0 minus 1, so it will be minus 1. Alright, so now this becomes therefore 0 equal to T under root 2g e minus y minus, this 2 will get cancelled, so we have minus a g upon under root of, sorry, this 2 will not get cancelled, this will be 2 here because it was 2g, so we have to write 2g here. Okay, this was constant, we forgot to write the constant, so 2 will get cancelled, the 2 will be, this 2 is inside the bracket, so it will remain as it is, so it is minus a into g upon under root of 2g e minus y. Okay, e minus y. So this is your differentiation. Now if you simplify, but this term is what? Under root 2g e minus y, it is q by a. Okay, q by a is what? 2g e minus y. Just replace that with q by a. Therefore 0 equal to t, and this term is q by a. So q by a minus ag upon again q by a. So we are getting 0 equal to, sorry, a square g by q is equal to t q by a. Therefore that is equal to, if we take q here, then what we are getting on the left hand side? A cube by t equal to q square by g, isn't it? And what is this? This is the condition of critical depth or critical flow condition. Critical flow condition. What does it mean? It means that maximum discharge can be passed at a critical flow condition, isn't it? That means the specific energy that is available to pass that flow, that should be minimum for that particular discharge, and then you are going to get maximum discharge for that particular specific energy. Okay, so that is the condition. So you can again simplify and say that simply you can do some more, like I'll do it here again. So we have q square T by G A cube equal to 0, equal to 1, sorry. Okay, q square T by G A cube equal to 1. Now q by A is velocity, so you can write v square T by G A equal to 1, and therefore we have A by T is hydraulic depth, so v square by G D equal to 1. D is A by T, hydraulic depth, that is flow area by top width, isn't it? So if you take the square root, we are getting V upon root of GD equal to 1. So this is nothing but Froude number. This is the formula for Froude number. So Froude number is equal to 1, and this is for critical flow condition. So again, all the conditions are one and the same. You can write the critical flow condition in this way: q square by G equal to A cube by T, or it is same as saying that Froude number is equal to 1, isn't it? So this is the condition of critical flow. So for varying discharges, what we saw today, that when we go on increasing the discharges, your critical depth will go on increasing, the curve will shift to the right side and above. Okay, your minimum specific energy will also go on increasing, your critical depth will also go on increasing. Then what we saw again, that for a particular specific energy, the maximum discharge that can be passed, it should be the condition should be that this specific energy should be minimum for that discharge. Okay, that we saw. We also proved it analytically. Okay, all right. Now from the next time we'll try to solve some problems on this. Okay, thank you.